Guys, I'm online. I'm just going to go close my door because Mrs. Williamson's class is getting out. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to try something new today, which is graphing linear relations. So you may have to do a little bit of sketching in your Cornell notes, but that's going to be fine. So have your Cornell notes and a pencil ready, and we're going to get going. All right. Oops, going back. So we're going to learn how to graph a linear relation, and I know that I showed you guys a video today, but I really want us to be sure of what we're doing before we move on. So I'm going to first of all take a look at the expression y equals 2x, and I just want you to notice that I'm drawing a really straight line here. Look at that, way better than the Khan Academy guy. All right, so we're going to do a chart, and we're going to have that chart show us y equals 2x, and this is where it all falls apart. Let's go back to printing. So here we go. So this side we're going to have x, and this side we're going to have y. So we make our chart and see where we're going. So if x is 0, what is y going to be in this case? First of all, I hope you can all hear me. It looks like a couple people are answering, so I'm hoping. Okay, if x is 0, then we're going to see that 2 times 0 is actually 0. All right. Can you guys all hear me? Can you put your thumbs up if you do, please? Good. All right, so we're going to do one more. If x is 1, then 2 times x is 2. And the next one is, if x is 2, then 2 times x is 4. So when we take an expression and we make a table of values, now we can graph that table of values, and that's what we're going to find is that they become a straight line. So we make our Cartesian coordinates, which look, oh, no, just a minute, that is not going to happen. Because I look like the guy from Con. Here we go. So I'm going to make a Cartesian coordinate, and we're going to draw a straight line going one way and a straight line going the other way. Now these are all positive. So we know that the origin or the center part of this chart right here, I'm going to get my pencil. That is 0, 0. All right? So in this case, we actually have a point at 0, 0. So we're going to put that point here. We'll just put them as an X like he did today because I'm not good at drawing the lines. All right, so that's where it all falls apart. So then we know that that was x is 0 and y is 0. So now we've got the case of going across, and we know that when we're making a graph that we have to go up in regular intervals. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So what we're going to do is we are going to do x first, and this is always the x-axis, and this is always the y-axis. All right, I'm going to fix that x because it looks kind of y-ish. All right, so here we go. When we're doing 0, 0, we're going to put one mark right at the axis. The next one, we're going to have x as 1 and y is 2. So we want to put our mark right there. And then the next one, x is 2, y is 4. So we're going to try and be as close as we can. Of course, we're going to be using graph paper when we do this in class, so it's going to be easy for us to do it properly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line that goes through all of those and connect them. And now we know that anywhere on this line, and yes, we can go below if we need to. I'm not doing a very good job, but at the exact same slope. And then we can see that straight line, anywhere on that line will fall all of the values that we can do for x that will give us the answer. So this entire line is y equals 2x. All right? So we're going to go over the page. I think I was going to do that on the next page. So when we're going to graph y equals 2x, I did it on this page. We did our table of values, and then we drew a graph. And we can see that when we connect the points that we can do a straight line in that graph. And what that means is the graph is going up at a regular interval. It's not bouncing all over the place. So a linear relation and its graph will always be a straight line. Okay, next one. Let's try one more. So we're looking at y equals x plus 3. So let's make a table of values here. I'm going to make a nice straight line, and this is going to be our table of values. So we put x on one side and we put y on the other side. Now, as I'm getting ready to draw my Cartesian coordinates, I'd like you all to think about what would, if x was 0, if x was 1, if x was 2, and we're going to make a chart that goes from 0 to 5. Okay, so Caden, why don't you do 0? If x is 0, what is that going to be? You can use the pencil. I gave you guys the ability to do that, so go ahead and do that while I draw the graph. My lines are better. I figured out how to do it. Look at that. They're straight there. Okay. So you guys go ahead and, there she goes. If x is 0, y is 3. Excellent. So Lauren, do you want to do the second one, or are you on an iPad? I can't remember if you're the one that's on the iPad. Okay, so Lauren, no, we'll do that. So Zach, do you want to do the next one then? If x is 1, what is y going to be? Oh, your iPad too. Or are you just cheating? I don't know. Okay, if x is 1, what is y going to be? Yep, 1. Well, Caden's helped me out. She's going to do 4. All right, because we have, if x is 1, 1 plus 3 is 4. So y is going to be 4. So what about if x is 2? Y is going to be 5. Looks a little shaky, but we're doing okay. So I'm going to let Caden do this. You guys can help her out with them. What is x if it's 3? What is x if it's 4? And what is x if it's 5? Excellent. And then it all falls apart. Mrs. Fair no longer looks like she knows what she's doing. So the first thing we have to do in our graph is make sure that we're going up in regular intervals. All right, so like the Khan Academy guy said today, we have to make sure that each step is the same distance as the last step. Even if our graph is not drawn absolutely perfectly, it should still create a straight line. So I've made my graph. Now, which is the x coordinate? Which is the x? Which line is the x? Good. And which line is the y? It's like I ask these things and go write them down. Caden's helping me out. Excellent, Caden. Good. So now we're going to plot our points. So the first one we're going to do is we can see that x is 0. So when we get to here, this is 0 right here. Remember that we know that this origin in every graph is 0, 0. And then the step is 1 from there. So if x is 0, y is 3. So we go 0 on the x, and we go up to the 3. And we're going to draw an x right through that point. So now Caden's going to do the next point. If x is 1, y is 4. So she's going to do that one right now. She's going to put an x where she thinks that should go. And we'll see if we agree with her. Oh, she's doing pretty good. If x is 2, y is 5. So I'm going to go up one little bit there. And if x is 3, y is, your turn. It's like tic-tac-toe. Y is 6. And if x is 4, y is 7. And if x is 5, as Lauren says, y is 8. That's excellent. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to take my line drawing tool, and you can see I'm going to draw a line that goes right through all of those points. That is my linear relation. Now I can extend that down if I want to as well. And you can see that anywhere on that line is going to be where all of the values for y equals x plus 3 will happen. So all of those values will fall on that line. We can extend that line as far up as it goes or as far down as it goes. And we can see what he was talking about today when he talked about the slope. We can see that it's going up in a positive way. If the slope is going in this direction, we know that that case, that's a negative number. He talked about that a little bit on the video today. So if we are doing Cartesian coordinates, which look like the one that I'm just drawing here, right up here, if we're doing Cartesian coordinates, where do all of the positive numbers go? So I'm going to write my x and y here. Where are all the positive x numbers going to be? No one's too sure what I'm talking about. That's okay. So if this is 0, 0, if I think about this two ways. One is like a number line. So anywhere on the number line from 0 on up is going to be a positive number. Okay, so on the x-axis, this is going to be positive. Okay, so what's going to happen then for the negative on the Cartesian coordinate? Where are the negative x's going to be? So positive is right. That's right. Negative is going to be left. All right. Now let's think about temperature. So if we were looking at a thermometer, where would our positive temperatures be on the y-axis? I love that these little ghost things show up. That's awesome. And Caden, do you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the seventh thing down is a line? That'll help you draw a straight line. I figured that out today. Okay, so going up, that's all of our positive numbers. So if we were thinking about a thermometer, we would go up there. All right? So I'm going to write that positive on both sides. I want to show you why in a little bit. Now, if we are having negative, where is that going to be? On the up and down axis. Excellent. So you can see that my ghost one showed up. That is negative there. All right? And this is negative x there. What's over here? Well, this is positive x, and that's negative y. So I want you to think about, I'm going to just, we're only going to use that. I'm going to just blast through that. I want you to look at this diagram only. Why is it drawing a straight line now? I don't want a straight line. All right, here we go. So I'm going to circle this. And I'm going to ask you to think about where things go in this Cartesian coordinate. So if I have 1, 3, where is it going to go in this Cartesian coordinate? Can you put a check mark there? No, my last slide didn't get deleted. I got it this time. I made sure. You're still getting homework. So if I have 1, 3, it's going to go in this coordinate because that is a positive x and a positive y. All right? What if I have 1, negative 3? Where is that going to get put in the graph? Think if we can think about that. So we have positive x and we have negative y. So that is going to go in this coordinate. All right? So that's why it's easy to figure these out after a while. What if I had negative 1, positive 3? Where do you think that will go? Oh, Caden just checked it. We saw it right there. Excellent. And the last one is negative 1, negative 3. And where is that going to go? Last one is there. So you can see each one of those coordinates have a different kind of set of points. So positive, positive goes, and I'm going to use my little sun, Mr. Golden Sun. Positive, positive goes here. Positive, negative goes there. Negative, positive goes there. Negative, negative goes there. So each one of those places on the Cartesian coordinate has a different kind of value for its numbers. All right. So for homework today, what I want you to do is make a table of values for y equals 2x plus 1. So your table of values is going to look like this. It's going to have x here and y there. All right. And then I want you to draw a line graph using a Cartesian coordinate, and I'm going to draw that out here. You can just use a ruler on your Cornell notes and do this. That's fine. And remember, you don't have to be try and be as accurate as you can, but you don't have to be perfect. in your distances when you're drawing your own graph. But we try and be relatively good. All right. And what do we have to remember about the way that we go up? What are you confused about, Zach? Okay. So for this one, we're going to say x is going to equal 0. I'm going to, for this one here, you can see this, I'm just going to show you here. This one right here. That's our expression. Y equals 2x plus 1. So we can solve that for different amounts of x, right? We can make x be any number we want it to be. And it will change what y is. Okay? So if x is 0, y is going to be 2 times 0 plus 1. If x is 1, y is going to be 2 times 1 plus 1. If x is 2, and I'm helping you to draw the chart here, then y is going to be 2 times 2 plus 1. Because remember, what we know is that both sides of the equation are the same. So 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So then what we're going to do, we have x points, and x go here on the graph. And we have y points, and y go here. And every time that we get an answer, that gives us a point on the graph, an xy point. Okay? So I'm going to give you the answer for the first one because I'm great. Y equals 2x plus 0. If I put 0 for x, then y is going to be 1. And that is going to be my point that I put on this graph as 0x and 1y. I'm just going to go right, just a second, right there. Right at that point right there. Yeah. I'm not going to read out what you're writing down. Yeah, exactly like that. And then you're going to make a line that goes through all of the points on the graph. You're welcome. Yes, y always equals the x equation. Because you're putting a number in for x, and then that will always equal y. You're welcome. I hope that's clear to you, and if it isn't, don't worry. On Friday, Ms. Anderson's going to take this really easy with you, and you are going to make some linear relations, and you're going to draw some graphs. You'll have graph paper, and you'll be able to make Cartesian coordinates on that. Okay, it's 4:16, so if you're done copying down the homework, you are free to go, and this video should be up either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Thanks. Bye, Zach. Bye, Kaden.